welcome Ms. Charmain Tan, founder and CEO of Quickdesk, up on stage. Hello, Charmain.
Hi.
Relevant education, certificates, and experiences for tech skills are important to have if you want to be an entrepreneur.
So I guess for me, maybe I'll share a bit of my background. I'm a major in statistics, and I have zero tech knowledge. I mean, maximum one like computer science course in uni, and that's about it. For me, I didn't learn any of this in school, but what I've came to learn is something called on-the-job training. So literally, my best school is my own startup, my own business. So I would say whether or not you have the right education, I think what's most important is constantly being able to learn and gain new knowledge. That being said, if you do have relevant experience and education, it's definitely going to help, but it's not the thing that is needed.
Anyone can be an entrepreneur. The only requirement is a good idea.
I think idea is what you need to kickstart. And in fact, I say what is important to be an entrepreneur, the first thing is actually courage. Courage to take the leap of faith to say that, hey, I think I can turn this idea into a reality. And then after you have the courage, have the execution skills. For example, when I had to build software, I had zero software background, right? So what I did, none of my friends are in the software space. All I did was I saw a school competition that says, anybody want to try a new idea with programmers? So I went to the professor and I'm like, can I sign up and be a client? And I just pitched to a group of developers knowing nuts about software engineering. And that's how Quickdesk started, from a bunch of students who I just happened to pitch about. So I say it's the courage and also being thick-skinned to sell and market the idea. And then the next thing I would say that to be a good entrepreneur, it's about having the passion and also the ability to constantly unlearn and relearn. A lot of times I always have this thought in my mind like, hey, why am I doing this? I could have taken a 9-to-5 job, got a better life, have more cafe breaks. But I don't think life's so easy, right? And last but not least, I think the most important thing is actually faith and perseverance. I spoke to many, many entrepreneurs, and I think everyone always tells me the same thing. What is one thing that got them to where they are today? Perseverance and greed. Nothing more than that.
Entrepreneurs have to be connected to survive, and only extroverts can succeed in entrepreneurship.
Honestly speaking, I'm an introvert, right? I know a lot of people see me as an extrovert, but I guess one thing that has came up is that in this job, you're constantly selling your ideas. You have to constantly be resourceful, making things happen. You have to be constantly out there. So you cannot just be in your hermit crab in your room and things will work, right? So I guess what this job has made me to do is becoming an extroverted introvert, right? What I mean is that in circumstances where I will go out there and sell my idea because I know the objective is to really get people to believe in what I have and to make people buy my software or even to gain partners or investors. So I guess it's really the ability to come out of your comfort zone, and I guess to connect, there's many ways now, right? You can connect digitally, you can connect face-to-face, whichever way they help you to get connected, I think it's the key thing that's needed.
How do you know that your idea has achieved the right product market fit, and what is the process to reposition yourself?
To be honest, I'm still learning, right? I'm constantly learning, and I think that in startups, you will have your peaks and your valleys, meaning that you will always have your failures and your success. It doesn't mean that, today I'm in the Forbes list and I'm unsuccessful. No, I don't see it that way. I see it whereby I'm just constantly learning. So back to achieving product market fit, I would know it. So I belong to a software as a service industry. So we do SaaS. We are a recurring model business. I would know I hit that when I actually reach a tipping point where people can buy on its own. And people will just come to us. We don't have to keep constantly going out there and sell. Right? And the active usage increase.
Charmain, what do you wish to have done differently as an entrepreneur, and what are some of the key learning points from your experience?
If there's one thing that I've really learned, it's sticking to your principles and sticking to your why you start in the first place. I think along the way, it's very easy to be distracted by things that are what we call the vanity matrix, the number of user acquisitions or just the revenue make. I think these are important numbers. But beyond these numbers is the why. Why are you doing this business in the first place?
What other achievements will you consider as being successful other than profit margin in an entrepreneurship?
I guess it really depends on how you define success. So for me, as a software company, we are a sales solutions company. I see the first thing of success is when my customers succeed. I know it sounds very cliche, but it's very real, when a customer comes to you and said, hey, I managed to close this big deal because your automation helped me, or like I managed to earn more sales because your software made me more productive. Actually, this kind of success, right, is even, not say like more important, but it really brings joy.
So what is your initial process of managing let's say your technology team or your development team when you don't have formal information or knowledge with development or technology?
So it started with a problem statement. So the problem statement that we were solving in 2014 was there was Personal Data Protection Act. And then salespeople need to stay compliant while doing sales. So we found an opportunity to build sales solutions with do not call list. And so that was an idea. And my mind could think of the product for the idea as a solution. So I told my tech team and we tried to figure it out. So at that point in time, I pretty much just say, hey, this is the idea, make it reality, lor. Okay? And that was a mistake, which I learned like 1 year later, which is instead of just leaving it, I think what I've came to learn is also important to understand how they build it, right? So there are a lot of deep questions that I wish I have asked myself. Like example, so when I see building a software, it's like building a house. Do you build the house first or you build the room first? A lot of times we tend to build the room first because we think that, okay, this is what I can immediately see. But actually knowing clearly what your vision, what is the bigger problem you want to solve, what that house overall look like in that plot of land, I think it's a lot more valuable. So what I would have done differently, and I do now, is I actually understand things like how do they build the tech architecture? Why do they choose that? Have they considered many other factors? What programming language they use? Is this something that is widely used? How scalable or sustainable is the method of development? Yeah, because as a product company especially, we need to think long term. Project different just build once done. But product, you need to, everything that you do in future, do now has an impact for the future.
If your business idea is to solve the gaps found in the market, how do you determine your pricing strategy?
Actually, the reality is this, right? There's so many different ones. Something that come from a module in school, But I'll give a brief, right? So there are different pricing strategies we have explored, be it cost-based pricing or market-based pricing. And something that I'm also exploring now is called value-based pricing, right? It's because at the end of the day, as a sales software, it's all about ROI, right? So along the way, I think it's really a balance between a few things, like what's the market willing to pay for? That's the most important thing. You cannot charge like exorbitant fee, right? And second thing, that pricing model must keep you profitable, and you must still earn money, And then the third thing, of course, is that it's something that could justify for the cost of investment you put in. So we always say as a sales software, it's ROI, right? So the money they put in has to be something that gets them better returns. Yeah, so I would say it really depends on what you want to build to decide on the pricing.
So once again, let's give a round of applause to Miss Charmain Tan.
Thank you.
Thank you.